What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Mission Fishing Live. My name is Muto. Here is our quest. We all get our black belts in fishing. What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. Glad you're here. Let's see who's in the house today. Saltwater Slayer, number one. What's going on, dude? Glad you could join us. Doug Rubin, what's going on, man? Glad you're here. Big Water Yak Fishing in the house. Welcome. Cave Dog, my man. Welcome. TB Metal Art. What's up? What's going on, man? Oos. Leonard, Oos. Sound Fishing. Oos. Dario, what's going on? Peter86, welcome. Eric the Judge Lehman, Oos, the resurrection is coming soon, right? You have to wait and see, Eric. Graham, Oos, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Spinning Rod Rebel, Marvin, what's going on, man? Saw Marvin in the Dan Hernandez show on Tuesday. I popped in there and he was in there lurking. Mark G, what's going on, man? Down in SD, Oos, welcome. Glad you could join us. I was creeping in there, watching the Dan show, the Dan the Man. It was good stuff. So what's going on, everybody? How was your week? We're almost there, almost spotty bowl time, almost time to fish. Tomorrow's the day it starts. So we got Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Make sure to declare your days and make sure you get your fishing licenses. I know a lot of people have been telling you that, but don't forget. Remember that, guys. I think if one thing we're going to forget is the fishing license. So don't be that person. Don't get caught. Don't get stopped. So make sure you got it for sure. ZR Built, what's going on, man? Oos, welcome to the show. Down in SD1, caught my first fish on your 20-gram slow pitch jig. Dude, awesome. What'd you catch it on, Roy? Which one? And did you post the pictures? I love seeing that, dude. I'm telling you, man, those things are fire. Or I guess more importantly, which one did you use? The Sumo or the Assassin?
What color?
And which color? The people want to know. Make spotty bowl 7 days a week. Yeah, that's out of my power. You got to talk to Eric Lehman here in the chat, man. He's the only one with the power to do that. But I don't think he wants to judge fish 7 days a week. That's just my guess. So which days you guys fishing? I want to know what day you're fishing, what time of day you're fishing, what area you're fishing, what you're using for bait. Especially if your name is Brian Likes to Fish, Salty Dangler, Leonard. You guys got to give up all that information. So we're all enemies now. You guys don't understand that, right? Back when we were like just coming here enjoying the show a week ago, we're all mortal enemies now, man. Once Spotty Bowl starts, it's no friends. Everybody's here trying to get that gold trophy. The Assassin Blueberries and Cream. Oh, that's Sound Fishing. Yeah, I saw you caught one too, dude. That's awesome. Hell yeah, man. Joe Diego, what's going on, man? Oos. I love that you guys are catching on those things. Yes, we got a good show today. Basically, one of the things I'm gonna go over, I kind of got a new section kind of planned for you guys. I want to go through like fishing philosophies that we've all heard. I mean, I'm going to go through a lot of them, and what I'm going to do is I want to hear your guys' opinion. I'll give a brief explanation about what they are, and then what I think about them. A lot of these are like really sacred cows, and I don't agree with a lot of them. I agree with some of them. I think you guys will too, but I think it's one of those things where we're all going to have differing opinions on these things, so that'll be fun. So we'll get to that, in a little bit. Get a nice little intro I made for you guys. Nice little cheesy intro. But I think it'll be fun. If it works out well, we'll do some more. The fishing philosophies is what we're going to call it. Salty Dangler, Oos, welcome. I was just telling everybody you're going to give up all your spotty bowl information in the chat. I said Salty would love to. Use the blue glow stripe, pitching the docks. Awesome, man. Love it. Love seeing it. Love watching them get bit. I've not decided what day fishing it on the water. Yeah, I was just joking, Leonard. You don't have to tell us. I don't expect anybody to let the cat out of the bag. SD Fisherman, what's going on, man? You have to try mine. Look awesome. Yeah, Dario, let me know. I'm excited to see how they work. Saturday AM, kelp beds. Nice. You gonna go kelp beds for fishies or for spotties, Mark? That's hardcore. That's the hardcore life. Yeah, it should be fun.
Ready for your question?
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm just waiting to getting my questions uploaded here. I know I post some questions on Instagram. So yeah, fish harder. That's the Leonard special. Captain Adobo Oos, welcome. If you guys are new to the show, people, you see them typing Oos in the chat. Basically, it just means that they like the show. They pick the like button. So if you like it, hit the like button. Let's get some more people in here. It'll help spread the love of the show. Good stuff. Oh, it was a joke. Hey, I wasn't gonna judge, Mark. You said you're fishing the kelp beds. I was like, maybe you know something we don't. Oh, not that one. Okay, so let's see. You guys ready for the fishing philosophies? Let's start this, guys. I got a little intro for you, and
Or do you want the questions first?
We'll see how it goes.
I was trying to go in order so I don't get confused.
All right, guys, here we go. Fishing philosophies. So I'm going to read the philosophy, and first I'll give you my opinion, or I'll explain to you what it is, and then I'll give you my opinion, and then I want to hear what you guys have in the chat too. I think we're going to have differing opinions, like I said. And just for the record, guys, this is all in good fun. I guarantee you, many of you will disagree with what I have to say. And I think there's going to be split on this, but I think that's what will make it fun. And most of these you guys have heard. I'm sure you've all heard these before. But let's go through some of them. I don't want to start with that one. This one, I think is pretty easy. So 90% of fish live in 10% of the water. Have you guys heard that before? The philosophy is that it's pretty simple. 90% of the fish live in 10% of the water, whether it's lakes, oceans, everything. So what do you guys think about that one? True, false, nonsense? Big Water Yak agrees. Yeah, I think this one I picked because it's probably the most cut and dry. I definitely think this one's true. From my experience, basically what I can say is anecdotally, I definitely think that's true. There's very small pockets of fish. When you're looking for rockfish, they seem to post up on rock piles. And how small are those rock piles? Sometimes when you look on your like your little app or something and you see a rock pile and you go up to it, I mean, that thing is like the tip of a pin needle in the middle of the vast ocean. And you can fish all around. You go to La Jolla, you could fish all around that whole area. You won't catch a single rockfish. And you'll find that tiny little rock pile and suddenly they pop off. Same thing too. You go to the kelp, right? You got to find the kelp bed. What do we guys talk about? Structure. How much structure is actually in the ocean? I mean, not that much, but when you do find it, that's when you find the fish. And not even for structure. If you guys have ever been offshore and gone fishing, how many of you gone out for tuna or dorado or something like that? I've been on 6-hour boat rides where we've traveled looking for patties, and you find one patty out in the middle of nowhere, a kelp patty, and suddenly there's hundreds of dorado on it. There's yellowfin tuna, and the bites on it just explodes. Even schooling bluefin, you'll see a tiny little school or a huge school, but they're miles away from each other in a 300-mile radius. So 90% of fish live in 10% of water. That philosophy, I think, is definitely fact.
Which one do you want to do next?
I'll do the top one. Let's see what you guys have to say about that. Let's see if I'm up on there. Doug Rubin says false. Louis Mendoza says true. Eric Lehman says crap. That makes sense. Salty Dangler says true. Big Water Yak Fishing says true. Leonard, specifically in the ocean. Yeah, I think that's more. ZR Built says true. Fish have tails and move everywhere. Yeah, I agree with that, Doug. But they still are only they're not spread out. Even when they move, like the yellowfin or the bluefin, they still stay in a school and travel. They don't. If you go out there and just cast in the middle of the ocean, I mean, you got to know exactly where to find them. But I like that. I like the differing opinion for sure. It's probably less when you look at the entire ocean. Todd, I was going to say that. I think 10% is generous. I absolutely agree. It's probably more like 1% or pretty small. I think you're absolutely right. Anybody that's been on a boat trip or when you're out there, it's like the ocean is so vast. It's so huge. Actually finding them is super, super rare.
Down in FD. 100% of fish live in water.
100% live in water. That's true, man. So you're on to something. Saltwater Slayer says true. Dave Rage, what's going on, man? Darius, he says, yep. Joe Diego says facts. Mark G, most likely. Good non-committal answer. We like that. Captain Dan says true. Graham, saltwater, true. Let's see. Yeah, I think we had a pretty good consensus on that. I agree with that one. I think that one was pretty unanimous, to be honest with you. I don't think there was going to be too much controversy about that. This one. Now, this one I don't know, so I'll read it. The philosophy is match the hatch. Use your bait, match the hatch. What that basically means is when you're throwing baits, whether you're doing live bait or artificial baits, the idea is that you match the hatchery, or you're matching what bait fish are in the water. So if you're looking for spotties, you're looking for bass, you want to match whatever the fish are living in there. You know, if you're fishing for yellowtail and it's small mackerel, you want to use small mackerel. If they're big mackerel, you know, you want to throw a big bait. So for example, if they're feeding on small fish, you want to use small bait. So match the hatch is a fishing philosophy I know that we all hear. So do you guys agree with that one or not?
Yes and no. Oh,
match the hatch. I think this one's going to be a little more controversial. Match the hatch. Peter says yes or no.
That's cheating.
Danny Boy. What's going on, Danny Boy? Welcome. Big Water Yak says no. Saltwater Slayer says no. Sound Fishy says nope. Mark G says true. Whether live bait or artificial. That look like live bait. That's interesting. Not today, but sometimes. Yeah. Not always, Captain. Yeah. I thought some of my takes were going to be a lot more controversial than they are, but yeah, I agree. I don't think it's always the case. So I think it's false. I think that one has to be false. I think it's a good baseline. I don't think you can really go wrong with it, if that makes sense. Like when I went fishing Saturday, I caught a spotty, and it coughed up a fish, and it was like just a tiny little bait fish. It was probably 3-inch long, and it gives you an idea about what they're eating, you know, and what to throw. So maybe you don't want to be throwing out the giant donkey plastic, you know, 6-inch plastic trying to catch them on that. But there's plenty of times where I've seen, you know, fish go for a bigger bait or even smaller ones in off times. I think it gives you an idea about what they're eating and probably a good baseline. But I agree. I don't think necessarily that's a set in stone philosophy, but it's one that you hear a lot. I think that is one that you hear time and time and time again. It's match the hatch. And I think everybody agrees. Yeah, not always. I agree 100% with you guys. Salty says no. It depends. Sometimes you want your lure to stand out. Dario, 100%. The fishing is tough. Yes, match the hatch. But if the bite is wide open, it doesn't matter. Yep. Yes, it matters. Fish eat metal on a regular basis. Dude, 100%. They love those jigs. Not today, but sometimes, not always. Let's see. Not always. Yeah, we got the same consensus. I've always seen purple and yellow bait fish, but I can catch fish on a purple and yellow plastic. It's a good starting point, though. Yeah, Double, I think so too. It's a good baseline, but yeah, not always. Again, we got the same opinion, or I guess our opinions aren't that drastic. So then, let's see.
Next one.
We've got. See which one I want to go through here.
I got two more from Instagram too.
We've got the best times for fishing. Oh, I think this one I think will be good. The best time for fishing the saltwater bays is 2 hours before and 2 hours after the tide shift. So when the tide is high at 12, they would say the best times would be at 10 and then at 2. And if it's at 8, the best times would be at 6 and then 10. High tide and low tide, 2 hours on both back ends. What do you guys think about that? Curious to see what this one is. I think this one is pretty dogmatic in the bay fishing world. Here we go. The best time for saltwater bay bass fishing is 2 hours before and after the tide.
Oscar's funny.
Oscar, best time for me is when I got time. That's true, dude.
I like that one.
100%. That is a great fact. Sound Fishing says, yeah, Peter too. Best time is when you can go. Sound Fishing says yes. Big Water says whenever I can go. SD Fisherman says I would agree. Louis Mendoza says it seems to work. Eric Lehman says no. Leonard says golden hour. I'm assuming that's a yes. Zachary Riggs, welcome to the show. What's going on, man? Good evening. Hope y'all getting excited about Spotty Bull. Mark G says nope. Salty says nope. Location is key. Graham says current. More than tide. Eric Lehman says in the dark. TV Metal Art says kinda. I don't fish sunset enough. SD Fisherman says he agrees with Graham. Lunchtime or whenever. Depends on the tide swing, so I say no. If there's a nice tide at the golden hour, though. Captain Adobo says no. And you guys, you're all over it. I thought for sure this was going to be my controversial take. I thought this was going to be the one. I disagree with it with everybody, but yeah, I don't think so either. You hear this. I think you hear this a lot, especially in Bay forums here in San Diego, and even when you hear like a lot of new fishermen talking and they want to know about tides, and the one thing you always hear is you got to go 2 hours and 2 hours before. And the only thing I can base this on, for me personally, is really just anecdotal evidence based on fishing. And I gotta say, I've caught so many big fish at slack tide that I have to debunk it. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I've never seen a correlation where the 2 hours before and the 2 hours in have really benefited that much, or like it's a golden hour, because I've waited, and I know some of you guys too have. Some of you guys have also where you're looking at the time and you're like, oh, we're at low tide, and then you're like, oh, it's gonna pick up, and it's 8 o'clock, and then at 10 o'clock the bite's gonna be fire, and what happens? We wait, we wait, we wait some more. 10 o'clock goes by, 11 goes by, 12 goes by, nobody got bit. And I know this has happened in the group, and then that was supposed to be like the golden time, and then suddenly it's still 3 hours till the next tide. Like an hour goes by, and then everybody's getting bit. The bite just pops off, and it's in the middle, or it's straight up. It's at slack tide. People say, you can't get bit at slack tide, or don't go to slack tide, but especially like at the bait barge, I don't know what it is, but I've destroyed so many sand bass during slack tide, and for whatever reason, I crush out there whenever it's slack tide. It's almost reverse. Whenever the slack tide comes and I'm at the bait barge, it seems to pick up like crazy. So I don't know. I don't know if there's any truth to that. I mean, who knows? I think we could all agree that you need the running water, right? You need something pushing the bait fish in. You need something pushing the food around. Like I understand you need the movement, you need the current, but I think if the coefficient is too high, which means the swing at the top and the swing at the bottom is really high. A high coefficient would be like 9 feet. It'd be like 90 if you go to like tides for fishing. Lately, it's been like 45, 55. That means it's been roughly a 3 to 4 foot swing, which isn't very big. And I think maybe if you're within that range, the tide is probably better. But when you run into coefficients that are like 80 to 100, I think slack tide's where it's at. I think if the tide is too big, the fish work too hard to stay in place. I think the water gets too dirty, or pushes the sand up. I don't think they can eat. I think they're trying too hard to stay in place. And then whenever it slacks out, when that tide has been too extreme, that's when they start to eat. It's like they finally have time to rest. They get like that 1 hour window to eat. So I think the tidal coefficient has a lot to do with it. But yeah, I think I don't think that's a solid, you know, philosophy that just works all the time. I think it's kind of maybe one of those things to look for, but yeah, just in my experience, I haven't had much luck with that. Dave Rage says not 2 hours, but probably some relation to the tide. Yeah, Dave, I think it is. The tide controls everything, right? It controls the bait flow, but I don't. Yeah, I don't think there's a golden hour in between. If there was a nice tide at a golden hour, though. Yeah, salty. I think that's what I was talking about earlier. If you've got the perfect tide, that golden hour works, but then it's not the golden hour all the time. You could say it's like, what's that perfume? 60% of the time it works 100% of the time. That's the same thing with the golden hour and the tide. It's like it works all the time if the tide is only a 4 foot swing, you know. So it's like, I guess it works when it works. Yeah, but I think tide swing is pretty much everything. Well, that's another one. Now we're killing the sacred cows tonight, guys. We're committing blasphemy here on this show. So the only one I think that has unanimous so far is the 90% of fish and 10% of water. Hyder, what's going on, man? Welcome to the show. See Samurai, what's going on? Oh, I'm sure you got some takes on some of these too. Fish have their own economy, just like ours. A great many cross currents to consider. Yeah, Hyder, 100%. Full mood is my nemesis. Tides don't matter. Danny boy. Yeah, that's another one I didn't put on the list, but that is another good one. The full moon one. Maybe we'll do that one next time. Let's see. Yeah, oh yeah, the Sex Panther cologne. Yeah, the golden hour. We should change the golden tide hour to the Sex Panther. The Sex Panther tide. 60% of the time, it works 100% of the time. It's so funny. It's illegal in 9 countries. What about the moon? Oh, Joe Diego, the moon. It's a whole nother can of worms, man. Let's see the next one. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one. This fishing philosophy: don't leave fish to find fish. What do you guys agree or disagree with that one? Don't leave fish to find fish. That basically means if you found fish and they're there, you should never leave. You should never leave that area and just fish it um, to go find more fish where there might not be fish. So that's another one you hear a lot. I know we hear that one thrown around too. We clown each other a lot on this one too. I know when we're out there fishing with each other, I hear this one come up. Don't leave fish to find fish. Agree or disagree? See, Samurai says he made that mistake too many times. I still got my testosterone. Thanks, Eric. I don't even want to know what you guys are talking about. Dave Rage, agree. Agree big time. Ooh, we got a lot of agrees on this one.
Size of what? Size of the fish?
Don't leave fish to find fish. Yeah, Kevin, remember when we went looking for those bluefin and me and Kevin went out deep sea fishing on his boat. We were looking for those donkey bluefin and we found a bunch. Remember we were going out and we found, dude, like so many of the school size ones. They were like probably little 50 pounders and stuff like that. They were just like all over the place. The birds were splashing and we straight up like we didn't even throw a line in the water. We're like, nah, we're gonna keep going and looking for the big ones. And we didn't get bit. We found a few. We did find a few of the donkeys, but we didn't get on them for sure. But I'm pretty sure if we would have cast on some of those school sized bluefin, we probably would have got one or two. That's how hardcore we are. That's how hardcore Kevin is. You leave bluefin to go find bigger bluefin. That's a champion right there. Captain Dan has worked for me. Louis Mendoza, agree. If I'm on dinks, I'm out. Spanish landings full of dinks. You need to move. Eric, yep. 5 minute tournament. Yeah. Yeah, we did find the big ones for sure, dude. That school that went out of your boat was crazy. And then you got bit on that one and it just yanked it out a little too soon. Yeah, you did get bit on that Savage gear, dude. That was awesome. I tend to leave on the qualities. Yeah, so this one, don't leave fish to find fish. I think I agree. Yeah, to a point. But it depends what you're. I think the philosophy is sound if you're just looking to fish. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're out there to have fun or you just want to go fishing, why would you ever leave? I think that's pretty solid philosophy. Um, and a lot with spotties too, because spotty is like that last study we did in a couple lives I did a while ago. The actual one of the consensuses was that the spotties, and we know this too just from fishing them so much, that the spotties do congregate, so they stay together. So especially spotties, and they tend to go in the same area and they tend to live there again and again. So when you find one big one, there's usually more there. They congregate with their size. It's like Eric was saying, if you're in like tidelands and you're just catching dinks, you can stay there; they'll be there. So if you're just looking for fish and you leave, it's foolish because you know where the fish are. But um, it's might be prudent to leave if you are tournament fishing and stuff like that. But um, yeah, if you find usually if you can find one spotty and find two, generally there's a lot more in that general area, and I think that one does hold true. Just keep casting, especially if you find one. If you find a legal, keep hitting that spot hard, guys, because there's probably more legals there. There's probably more fatties kicking it at the pilings with the other ones. They don't like the little ones with them. They kick them out. So the big ones hang out and the little ones hang out. So if you're finding dinks, that might actually be a good sign to actually move on. So I thought that was a good one for sure. I tend to leave when the quality is not there. Dart, yeah, I agree. Yeah, 100%. The next one, this is the last one I have on here. I didn't want to burn them up.
Something they haven't seen.
So we've got actually I got two more. Here's an interesting one. Throw them something they haven't seen before. Throw them something they haven't seen before. So basically, that's stop using the conventional baits, stop using the baits everybody's using. Throw them something new, throw them something different. Throw them something they haven't seen before. What do you guys think about that one? That one's next, Kevin. Throw them something they haven't seen before. I get bit on Berkeley swim baits. Then Kai text when at work. Yeah. Curiosity killed the cat. Last ditch effort. What the gulp? The Berkeley gulps. That's last ditch effort. All nighter hider. I like to experiment. Yes. Sound Fishing says he disagrees. Go with Old Faithful. Keep throwing it. All right. So this one, I've kind of got mixed feelings about this one. Throw them something they haven't seen before. I generally I do agree with this. I think because I think when you get into bigger fish and you get into larger fish, I think it's much more important if you want to get quality fish. I mean, you got to think if you're fishing spotties, um, if they've been stung by a Ned rig 2 or 3 times, or if everybody's using the same thing, how many times are they gonna keep going for the same thing? I mean, they're animals. I mean, they're fish. Their brains aren't that big, but I don't think they can be that stupid. If uh, any animal does something that hurts them or they have a traumatic experience, there's a good chance that they're not going to keep going back for the same thing over and over and over. So I think is when the spotties are small, dude, it don't matter. Slow pitch, Ned rig, underspin, anything will catch these things because they haven't been zapped yet. They haven't been stung. They see something new, but I also think it's the something new that gets them. So you got to keep this in mind too. Spotted bay bass, their primary diet is razor clams. It's crustaceans, it's clams, it's crabs, it's stuff like that. They don't eat that much fish, and we're throwing fish at them all the time, and they come up and eat it. But I got to think, even like the slow pitch jigs, right? That's why I try to throw them down, and I think that's why we're getting so many big ones is because they're still kind of new. I know a lot of us fish them in the group. I know I'm a huge proponent of it, but aside from us, it's becoming larger, but not that many people are throwing it. Normally, you're getting swim baits, you're getting Ned rigs, and stuff like that. But I think that's why it's important to do different Ned rigs too, right? Which is funny why I think the Savage Gear, well, you guys, I think that why the Salamander's killing it right now because how many times have they seen that little stick bait? How many times they've been stung by that little TRD out here? Probably a million times, even the big ones. And I think they see that new sometimes it's not a new style but it needs a new profile, and I think that makes a difference. I know I talked to Aaron Kruger about this too, and he's always throwing wacky stuff, new stuff, and he told me this exact same thing. Throw something, or maybe it wasn't him, maybe it was his brother. Actually, I think it was Aaron's brother and Roger, and he told me that Aaron had said that, and I do agree with that because he's always got wacky stuff thrown on there, And I think to get the big ones, you generally got to throw them something. It doesn't mean it has to be something different, but maybe you got to change up the profile. Um, if you're doing a Ned rig, I think at some point we got to get away from the same old Ned rig, because I think once they've been hit by it, they're not going to keep biting it. I think that's just what it is. Little fish, sure. If they've not had been stung before, maybe it's been a few years, I think they'll be curious and eat it. But I think the older they get, the more they've seen, I do believe you've got to start throwing them stuff that they haven't seen or work it in a different way. So, but I think this one will be kind of controversial. Sea Samurai says he agrees, so he agrees with me. That's a good one. It's just like marketing to people. Yeah, I mean, in a sense, it is. That's why it always changes. Absolutely. I mean, I don't know. Fish are as intelligent as people, but it's similar. How smart are they? We need to deep dive intelligence scans on spotties. Yeah. You've never met my dog, then, Peter? Does he keep eating the same thing? Same thing that makes him sick? Yeah, it could be. I could be wrong. I could be way off base. Maybe they do, but I'm curious that yeah, I'm curious. Maybe they do just keep eating the same bait every time. I think that's one of the things we don't really know or we don't understand. Maybe they do. I have no clue. It'd be interesting to see at the end of a Spotty Bowl. I know we had the consensus that, or not the consensus, the census in general that somebody did. I think it was Adobo, of what baits were used, who used the most. It was like A rig, Ned rig, slow pitch, underspins, like all the different stuff was used. But I'm curious to see. I don't think there's a way to determine this, but like the size of fish that was actually caught on certain jigs, that'd be really interesting to see. Cedar plugs for the spotties. They haven't seen that. Dude, give it a shot, man. Fire it. Get them. I wonder if they get bored with the same diet all the time, Mark. Yeah, I think spotties in general are a unique fish. I don't think they get tired of the diet, because fish, they eat to live, like they're not out there trying to get something gourmet, but they'll eat anything, dude. That's what makes them so fun. You can catch a spotty on pretty much anything. And that's why, like I said, their diet is razor clams. You throw them a tiny ass piece of metal with hooks in it, and they're all about it. They think it's the greatest thing they've ever seen. People may not be as intelligent as fish. Yeah, some people definitely. 100%. Not that many people. Fishermen are smarter than humans. Some probably are. The keto for spotties. Yeah, dude. Spotties are all keto. Most animals, most carnivores are. They're straight to the meat, straight to the fat. All right, guys. So I think that, yeah,
There's 3 more
that's a good one. We've got,
that came from Instagram.
and we've got, this is the one everybody's been talking about from the Insta. Big Water Yak asked this one too, but bigger bait, bigger fish. What is it, guys? True or false? Bigger bait equals bigger fish. Tell me what you think. That one's pretty self-explanatory, but you hear this one a lot too. This one will come up in forums, in bass forums. This is a pretty big fish philosophy here.
You didn't mention the fish you caught on the chocolate croissant either.
Oh yeah, I did catch a fish on the chocolate croissant.
Keto.
That's not keto. It did happen. Not always. Peter, nope. I catch 8-inch fish on 5-inch baits. Mark says true. Todd says nope. Cave Dog says not always. Sea Samurai, 100%. That is quite definitive. Captain Dan, not for me. Maybe 10-inch fish, bigger bait. Salty's got it. Salty has got it. Bigger bait, only bigger fish. Bigger bait equals less small fish. Oh, Hyder does too. Yeah, you guys are on the right track, I think. Caught my 16-inch on a Ned, so nope. Yes, it will weed out. Yeah, I think a lot of you guys are right. So I disagree with this. Bigger bait equals bigger fish. Me and Kevin Nakata are gonna have a disagreement about this. I don't think that's true. I think so. The idea is bigger bait, bigger fish, and a lot of you guys hit on it. What I actually think, Salty and Hyder, the bigger bait will weed out smaller fish. Obviously, if the bait is so big, a small fish isn't going to even attempt it, or they're not even going to try to eat it. So from that standpoint, if you're throwing a bigger bait, I guess technically your odds are that you're only going to catch a bigger fish. But that's not to say that the problem is the big fish will eat tiny little fish too. Both of my
Elephants eat peanuts. There we go.
so the biggest I won biggest spotty last year in Spotty Bowl. Got the plaque right here. The heaviest I caught the heaviest spotty. All the fishermen, all the people. I caught it on a 20-gram short jig, tiny, tiny little 20-gram jib. Caught the heaviest fish. Um, most of my legals, I caught multiple legals on 10-gram jigs and small jigs, 20 grams. So little tiny things. I mean, way smaller than this. I mean, this one's 40 gram, half of this size. Um, so the big ones will. That's the thing. The big ones will eat the little bait, but the little ones will eat the little bait too. So I think that's sort of the thing you have to kind of weigh. I know when I'm slow pitch jigging, for example, for rockfish, I use that super long those long jigs, those long knife jigs. Um, and there's one thing I know is that I'm not going to catch I'm not going to get whitefish on that thing. They don't have the mouth for it. They won't eat it. If you're running um like a drop shot with two hooks and you've got squid on each end, you can get the giant bocaccio, you can get a big red, but you're also going to get, tons of whitefish too, and they're going to eat that thing. So um bigger bait, bigger fish is true in the sense that smaller fish won't eat it. So I think if you're committed, if you just want the hog, you want that giant donkey, then yeah, I mean, I agree. Skip the small baits, but then again, I know a ton of monster fish were caught on little micro baits, and I know they will eat them. So um, I think I'm going to disagree with that one. Bigger baits, bigger fish. Um, but I know there's some disagreement in here. That's awesome. I love seeing that, guys. But I think we agree. I think most of us agree on the thing. Yeah, Captain Adobo says true for the most part. Graham says for the most part. I've seen some exceptions. Generally, I've gotten dinks on big lures. Oscar, that's pretty funny. Yeah, dude, that is true. I've pulled up some dinks. I went out fishing this Saturday and I was throwing the A rig. Dude, I was catching lizardfish. Were biting the back of the A rig on a swim bait, and like they choked half the body of the swim bait and got hooked. And we're talking like lizardfish like this big, tiny little things, and we're straight up and just swallowing these baits, which is crazy. The bait was literally bigger than the fish, and they somehow got half of it in their mouth and got a giant hook in their mouth. Happened twice, two times. Trolling the A rig for lizardfish on huge things. Mackerel too. They also just go over like sometimes they hit these lures and I'm like, dude, what are you thinking? Rapala deep divers that are like this long I have in La Jolla, and you get a mackerel that's half the size and you're like, dude. Yeah. So I kindly disagree with that one. But I do, like I said, it weeds them out, but I don't think you're just guaranteed a big fish all the time. Ewok, what's going on?
If you look at my comments that I replied to, those posts came from Instagram.
Awesome. Lions eat buffalo. You guys are going off the train. The longest was on a 20 gram. Yeah, so salty dangler caught the longest. So you guys, we have the longest spotty was caught in last year's Spotty Bowl, and the heaviest. So me and Salty, he's caught the longest. I caught the heaviest. Both on a 20-gram jig. Here's a 20 gram. Just a little tiny ass thing. So yeah, that's why I have to debunk that one. I got to debunk that one. Aaron Kruger in the house. What's going on, man? I was just using some of your references for fishing philosophies we have. If you're catching nothing but dinks, move because big bass punk little bass. Yeah, it's a good one. It's true, dude. That is true. That's what we talked about that earlier. How spotties do congregate, and they congregate with sizes. So if you're catching big spotties, they hang out with other big spotties. Yeah, and the dinks, like you said, dude, they're like, get the hell out of here. Get to packing. Yeah, you don't want the dinks. Yellowtails eat sabikis. Yeah, I guess I believe that. I've never seen it. My daughter that's funny. Baleen whales eat plankton. Yeah, Leonard, that's true. Yeah, good stuff. Fake name. I'm gonna use some smoked brisket. Catch me a big ass fish. Hell yeah, Josh, do it. That'd be a great video. I haven't caught a lizard fish in a long time, dude. They were out. They were out Saturday. I got one if you don't mind. Yeah, we can do some more. You guys, what we're doing? We've been going over fishing philosophies. Fishing philosophies people have that Are they either true or false? Let's see what Graham has. We'll throw one on there, even though we'll save some for the next episode. I got one if you don't. Does barometric pressure affect fishing conditions? Pre-storm, fire, bite, but low is tough, but high is steady is better. What do you guys think about that? Does barometric pressure affect the fishing? That is a fishing philosophy I've heard many times. Let's see what the chat has to say about that. Does barometric pressure? And for those of you guys that don't know, the barometric pressure, I guess give you guys some backstory about this. The philosophy behind this is um, the the pressure messes with the swim bladder and then the stomach of the fish. Um, so when you look at the barometer measures the pressure, the philosophy is that when it's low or when it's high, it makes them uncomfortable, so they don't eat. And you can see like when you pull them up, and they have barotrauma, like when their bladder or their stomach has come out of their mouth, or like in sheep's head, it always comes out of their butt. Um, and a lot of times you got to descend them. So when they're down there, the barometric pressure changes even when you don't pull them out. Just when you read a barometer, whether it's high or low. So ideally, what they say is the philosophy is that when it's rising, it gets better, and as it levels off, it's good. And then when the barometric pressure starts dropping, the fishing is not as good. So let's see what you guys see. If we got any takers on this one. Salty says no idea. TV Metal Art, he says he agrees. Dave Rage says I say yes. Let's see. I don't pay attention enough to the weather.
I like Mr. Majors.
It affects the weather, Mr. Majors. If you're unsure, just go fishing. It's true, dude. It's the only way to find out. Yes, they are. I'm not even thinking straight. Spinning Rod Rebel says, yes, barometric pressure affects fish like humans are affected when an airplane cabin loses its pressure. Low pressure storms make for good lobster fishing. Captain Dan. Pre-storm good. Luis Mendoza says, I agree. For this one, I got to be 100% honest with you guys. I don't do too much. I think I do agree. Um, I think the favorable pressure, leveled off pressure, does help a little bit. Um, to be fair, I haven't really like for many of the philosophies, like I've actually weighed and had a take on it, but I've never actually like. Maybe I'll do that. I'll start doing that, and we can circle back to this one because I don't have conclusive evidence. This one I've not really studied. I do know the philosophy. I have heard it, but I don't really know. I think I'm going to start catching fish and then looking at the pressure, the barometer, about what it said. Like if you guys go to the Now Tide app or the Tides for Fishing app, you can actually see what the barometric pressure is. They show you the arrows, they tell you when it's high, when it's low, and then they give the little description of it too. So that's interesting. I'm gonna have to start checking that with the fish because it doesn't correlate to the tide really. Um, it seems to be completely separate. So that's really interesting. That's a good one to go see. Overthinking, just go fishing. Doug, dude, that's what we do. That's what fishermen do. That's what me and Salty were talking about. I met Salty out a Saturday. We didn't plan to go fishing together, but we met up and we were just talking about how like, dude, especially when we compete, we start over analyzing everything. I know I do. I can't tell you how many times I've told my wife today, I don't know which day I should go fishing. I don't know which time.
It's a lot.
I had it like pinned down. I'm like, I'm going this day. I'm going at this time. This is when I'm going fishing. And then I'm looking at tides for fishing. I'm like, I don't know. I don't like the tide here. Oh, the moon is bright this day. Oh, maybe I should fish night. No, maybe I should. I still haven't even decided. Like, I probably won't decide till I go to bed tonight, which day. And I was so sure. Like the whole week, I was sure which day I was going to go. But then I woke up this morning. I opened up the apps and I got too much analysis, man. I got the analysis paralysis. I got in my own head. I started overthinking it. Now I'm all screwed up again. I've looked at so much data. Now I don't know. I've screwed myself up. And you're right. Just go fishing, dude. That is the key. On one side note, though, I will say I think that is one of the benefits of the old Spotty Bowl was we all had the same time to fish. You didn't have to worry about it. You just went out and fished. So Spotty Bowl this year we have there's 3 days, but then there's two segments too. There's the 8 or there's the 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. and the 1 p.m. to 8. So that throws a whole nother wrench in the thing, you guys. That is like, it sounds simple, but that changes everything. That adds two completely different layers to when to actually fish. But yeah, I do agree with that. Chris Blevins in the house. What's going on, dude? I saw your new video. Check him out on YouTube. You guys, hey, if you guys want to catch yellowtail, this is the guy. You guys going out and getting skunked in La Jolla? Hit up this dude's channel, Chris Blevins. I know I've watched it. I'm out there fishing and all these dudes too. We're the same. We're like, hey, did you watch Chris Blevins' channel? He does this and he does this. So we're all trying to imitate you, dude. I know you got the yellowtail skills out there. I saw your last video about you asking the user questions. That was great. The difference in atmospheric pressure. I see what he says. The difference in atmospheric pressure in the air is nothing compared to the pressure underwater. Interesting. It's like the difference between swimming between 6 feet deep and 7 feet deep. That's a great take. So you think that the barometer only measure does the barometer only measure the air pressure? That's what I'm not sure. So I don't know if like Tides for Fishing is taking into account the water pressure or the air pressure. In fact, I didn't even know if there was a difference between the two. If the air pressure increases, does it increase the water pressure? I don't know. That's like that's master's degree fishing right there. That's beyond my pay grade. Let's see what else we got here. If I watch, I was just. Well, if you ever need to know, text me 100%. I will say yes at the time. Awesome, guys. Yeah, Chris, a shout out. That's awesome. Same here. I thought exactly time of day, but now I'm not sure. Dude, Leonard, I'm telling you, bro. I've screwed myself up completely. I had it dealt like normally, right? With Spotty Bowl, we had the one time, whatever. I'm up at 6. I know to be at the water at 6. I'm like, dude, I'm good to go. I'm gonna fish the day. Now it's like, I have no clue. I don't know when I've overanalyzed it, dude. I'm like, well, this could work. This moon could work. That moon could work. Yeah. So if you guys want another one, another fishing philosophy. I don't have it written down, but it just came up because I know Joe Diego's watching about it too. Fishing philosophy was this like number 7. Don't go fishing after a full moon, or the fishing is bad after a full moon. True or false? Fishing is bad after a full moon. And I can tell you the reasoning, the philosophy behind this one is that when the moon is full, the fish feed at night, and therefore they're not hungry the next day. They've got the moonlight. The moon is at its brightest. It's overhead and it's putting out so much light that the fish are actually, they eat so much and they gorge themselves at night that by the time the day comes around, they don't want to eat anymore, that they're full. So that's the philosophy behind this one. So fishing is worse after the full moon. So fishing is worse after the full moon during the day. True or false? What do you guys hear? Oh, we got some good ones coming in here. C Samurai says false. Cave Dog says true. Dave Rage says false. Salty says I'll blame it either way if I'm not catching. That's right, dude. It's never our fault. It's always the moon. It's the moon tide. It's the moon phase. So you big water yak says false. I've caught a crap ton of ray sharks, shovel nose after a full noon. Consider Logic says false. Danny Boy says offshore 100%. True. Zachary Riggs says he agrees with Salty. Salty is correct. That's right. Excuses are the way to go. Dario says nope. Yeah, man, this one's split. We got some most of you guys saying false. Plenty of times the bluefin are dumb as rocks after a full moon. Sometimes they don't want to eat. Interesting. I don't think it matters for spotties of freshwater. Maybe it seems to be true. Happens often when I've tried it. Oh, interesting, Joe. So you were asking about the moon earlier too. So you've actually tried that out. Louis Mendoza says true. Yeah, Andy. This one's split. I think this is the most split one so far. Most people agree. What about full moon with cloud cover? Yeah, I think that is the caveat, Chris Blevins. That's what other people will say. I've heard that. So what Chris is saying, if it's full moon, but what if it's 80% cloud cover? So I have heard that then it changes things. If they can't see the sun, if they're not eating, or they can't see the moon, they're not eating. Does it change? Does it change? I don't know. Aaron Kruger says, I fish every day, no matter what the conditions, and I still can't tell you why sometimes they don't bite. Aaron Kruger, that is the truest statement anybody's made on the show. And I've said that before too. I was like, nobody really knows. The tide doesn't mean it, because if somebody knew, they would be a millionaire. If somebody could actually predict the moon phase, the tide, and it worked even 80% of the time, that person would be a millionaire. And what's crazy is you hear these are all fishing philosophies. You hear these all in the message boards. No matter which one you go to, you hear the same philosophies over and over. You hear them on podcasts. You hear them on this show too. You hear them on everything. Everybody's talking about the same things. But I don't. How many of them work? I think most of them are probably false. I think 90% of fish live in 10% of water is absolutely true. I think that one is indisputable. Indisputable. I think that one is true. All the other ones, yeah, I think there are a lot of considered logic, lots of nuance. Yeah, there is a lot of nuance to that one, especially with the moon. Put the theory to the test, no matter what. You go after a full moon, see what you catch. Well, Josh, it's interesting you say that, because there will be a full moon this weekend, and or pretty close. Sunday might be, but I know Saturday's pretty close. Friday, Saturday, you guys, we're gonna have I think like 90% light Saturday, and then Friday too is pretty good too. So we're creeping up on the full moon. So it'll be interesting to see. Although I think Monday is the full moon, so we're not quite going to get the full, but we're at like 90%. I think tomorrow and Saturday. But yeah, Aaron, I think you hit it on the head, dude. Like, who knows? So, anyways, my take on this one, I don't know. I'm not sure. So I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no on this one, because I don't. Like Danny was saying, offshore 100%. That might be true. I haven't done enough. I've been skunked offshore more than I do when I go bay fishing, but I don't really know if the moon played into it. Sometimes the bay fishing is rough, sometimes it's hot. I'm not sure either. That's another one I'll have to put up there with the barometer and actually compare. The only ones I know is the tide, like the tides one we went over, the 2 hours after tide before. I've looked into that. I've looked into fish activity with the moon phase, and I know that's false. So I've definitely tested that one. And the moon phase means absolutely nothing. Whether the full moon with the hunger thing is different, I don't know. So I'm going to say no. I think I'm going to have to go false on this one.
So we just have to put up another philosophy.
Just for my thing. Oh, Zach, we got another philosophy? Man, I was just planning on doing like 5, but now they're just rolling in. What do you got here, Zach?
I think scent matters.
Oh, Zach. Does scent matter? I don't know if that one's a philosophy, though, Zach. I don't.
No?
Because I think not a lot of people use scent. Some people just tell you it's outright crap. The philosophies are usually like things that people say that are kind of like they swear a law or dogma in fishing. I don't know if we can talk sense, but I don't know if I think scents are pretty divisive right out of the gate. Sweet, I have an excuse if I don't find the big ones. Yeah, right. The moon's so bright. Also, my catches aren't consistent enough. Yeah, dude, it's tough. If we all had that magic wand, someday we'll find out. I think sometimes they're just not hungry. There's nothing you can do about it. But yeah, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that section. Fishing philosophies. It was great seeing all your guys' takes, what you think. I like that. I like that some people said no. I like that some people said yes. Obviously, my take is just my opinion. Totally understand if you guys disagree with it. That's just my own anecdotal evidence from what I've seen when I go fishing. Some of them I've really tested and really tried out. Other ones I don't know so much, but yeah, that was super good seeing those out there. Let's see. So if you guys like that again, I'll find some more philosophies and we'll go over it. I'll play you my cheesy video and we'll do it again. Let's see here. So we got some questions from Instagram. We'll go through these pretty quick. If you guys have any more questions, whatever, we'll go through them. Have you, let's see, what gear are you using for spotty bowl? Well, you guys know I'm using my jigs that I sell, my slow pitch jigs. The slow death jigs are the ones I make. For those of you guys that don't know. Aside from those, basically I slow pitch everything. That's like my motto: slow pitch everything. I should put that on a shirt. But I've pretty much um, I have changed a lot of what I did. My very first video I made, I did on micro jigging and the slow pitch jigging in the bays, and I've actually changed so much from that video. Um, I'm probably gonna have to do one in 2022. One thing that I did change definitely is that I no longer use bait caster reels for anything less than 30 gram. So the 10 gram, 15, 20, 30, and even sometimes 40, I've gone all to spinning reel. Small spinning reels with at least like 8x or 9x line. That's the braid, the PE line. And the reason for that is the more carriers you have in the braid, the more round the braid will be, and it'll come off faster. Like the spider wire, like the regular, I think like the stealth, dude, that stuff is like you can feel like how you can feel like the you can basically see the braid in it, and it's super coarse. The problem with that is it grabs on itself when it's coming off. So I go with a super smooth braid. But the reason I went to spinning reels is because I want the jig to flutter down as much as it can, and I find it comes off the bail a lot better than it is trying to get a conventional reel or a bait caster to spin. Even though I freed up all the way and to take back it still works. Like you guys, like I caught countless numbers of fish, count tons of fish with them. I mean, I did it most of spotty bowl, but I've switched over um, because sometimes when the gears get gummed up or the bait caster stops spinning faster than it should, it doesn't work as well. And I was having too many results. I think when you get one newer, when you clean it, it's really good, but then it fails too much. But I found that a small spinning reel with the small little bezel and a really smooth line, the line just comes off of the jig. So you're throwing a 20-gram jig, like a slow death jig on it comes off so easily. That thing flutters the whole way down, and it takes so long to hit. And it's nice watching it go. Um, so I think that's really improved my game a lot. Is bait cast. I mean, is spinning reels for light 20 gram. When I'm going 60 gram, 40 gram stuff like that, I still go bait caster. I go Pen Fathom. And when I'm going for the heavier stuff offshore, absolutely, I'm using conventional reels and stuff like that. Two speeds even sometimes, but for bays, 20 grams, I've switched to spinning reel for everything, and I think that's really helped. I think it helps the action a lot, and I know that was something I totally wasn't talking about in my first video, so I'm definitely going to do a new video for that too. Oh, Chris Blevins, you got another philosophy? Here's a philosophy. As you get another one. Do you prefer fish lighter line and get more bites with the chance of breaking off the big one, or do you fish heavy line, get less bites, and land the big bites? Um, Me personally, dude, I go ham on the line. I I run thick line, dude. Um, I'm not even a fluoro guy unless I'm fishing like bluefin, maybe yellowtail. But I run mono. But I also fish a lot of structure, so even for spotty. So here's the thing. Like, I guess let me preface this a little bit. When I'm fishing like the bays and doing spotty bowl and spotty fishing, I run mono and I run heavy. When I'm fishing spotties, I'm going 15, 20 pound monofilament. I'm not even using fluoro, and I get bit. But I'm also using um, these micro jigs, these little fluttering jigs, slow death jigs, or whatever jigs you want to use. But it's a reaction bite. I don't really do finesse fishing. I like power fishing, and because it's a reaction bite, to me the fish react to it and they just eat it. They're not looking at it. They're not watching it go. I'm not dragging it on the floor next to them. They're just coming up and scooping it. If they don't want it, I'm on to the next piling. And a lot of times when they bite these things, and same thing in the ocean. So even when I was fishing tuna this year, or when I fish rockfish, I slow pitch jig everything. And when you're slow pitch jigging, when it comes up, sometimes you don't know you have a bite, and the line slacks out, and the fish's gills can hit it, their fins hit it, their side of their body if they have rough skin. Sometimes they hit the pilings. So when you don't know your bit, or when the line's slacked out, by the time it's slacked out, sometimes that line rubs across their face or whatever it is. I like to have heavy line, and I run almost mono. So just to clarify that, like I'm not really a finesse fisherman. So I like working jigs and power fishing, working them pretty fast and slow pitching. So I'm going heavy, dude. I'm a heavy guy. I don't like breaking. I hate breaking off. I absolutely hate it. Few things piss me off more than fighting a fish and it freaking snaps on you. It's so annoying. But if you're finesse fishing, obviously you go for the lighter stuff. Even go throw some fluorocarbon on there. Go for a 10 super pound. Um, yeah, I do run light now. If we want to get into a whole nother can of worms, I do run super light braid. So when I'm slow pitch jigging, I use as small a braid as I can possibly get, so it cuts through the water better. So I use a smaller, lighter braid than you normally would for big pelagics and even some of the rockfish, but I run a heavier leader, if that makes sense. Because if I'm fish, sometimes I'll go to La Jolla and I'm fishing rockfish 500 feet deep, and I need the smallest, thinnest, roundest line I could possibly get. So the braid for me has to be super thin. So it cuts through the water. The thicker your braid and the thicker the line, even when you're tuna fishing, it starts to drift out away from you, especially if the current and the wind's going. So the lighter the braid, it cuts through the water. So super light braid, but my leaders, I go beefy. How about you, Chris? How do you run it? That's what I'm curious about. Is how are you running your line? Do you prefer a light line to get more bites, or do you like going thicker so you don't break off the big ones? Curious what all you guys think. You too, Kevin. See what the big game guys have.
Do you miss when Salty said the guy who sells scents doesn't have an opinion on scents?
Oh yeah, sorry, the guy that sells scents doesn't have an opinion on scents. I have an opinion on scents. I do sell scents. I make my own scents, guys. Um, I think scents work. I like scents, but I think what I meant was not a lot of. I don't think it's a philosophy uh, like a lot of these, right? Like 90% of fish live in water. Bigger fish, like an adage, so to speak. I don't think scents are like fall into that category. I like scents. I do use scents. I think they work. Obviously, I make sense. Fish frosting, smishandfishing.com. Pick some up. Shameless plug. Heavier line, heavier gear two, spinning rod rebel. Yeah, dude, I'm a heavy guy. Aaron Kruger, big baits. I'd rather catch one legal than 20 dinks. Yeah, we were going over that for sure. That was earlier in the conversation. Let's see. Catching legals on light tackle is a good time. Yeah, it is fun, dude, for sure. I think the light tackle, if you just want to go out and have a sporty game, definitely. I go back and forth on line. It's a salty dangler. I go back and forth on line. I want to fish light, but when I lose fish, I go heavy, dude. I hate losing fish and I hate breaking them off, especially when you're jigging and you know they ran into the piling and you're like, oh, and you've got like that thin ass line on and they pop and go. You lose the jig, which pisses me off even more, and you lose the fish. Then you got to retie. Nah, even at least if you pull it up, I love when I pull it up and it's just like that mono is just mangled. It's like looks like string cheese is ripped up, but you got the fish, you got the jig, you got it measured, and then you can retie. At that point, you're like, hell yeah. But there's been so many times where I'm like, 100% I would have lost this fish if I wasn't running this heavy duty mono. Got to build a spinning slow pitch jig rod. Yeah, big water. Got to make me one. Consider logic. What's up? Sea Samurai 80 pound when the squid bites, Chris. Yeah. Hell yeah. Sea Samurai. I know. I think I know Kevin likes the big stuff too, right? You like horsing them in. You don't like playing around too much. TV Metal Art likes lighter line. Yeah, lighter line's like it's good for a fight for sure, but it doesn't really fit my style of fishing. My fishing's like my jujitsu game. It's just I like to go hard. I don't let off the brakes and just hit it hard, man. Power fishing. Get on top and just start crushing. It must be my personality. I'm not into that finesse game. 15 is heavy. Okay, I fish heavy then. I think so. Salty. 15 is heavy in the bays. Hell yeah, dude. I can't tell you how many people are straight up fishing like 8 pound line. 10 pound is like top to them. I think 15 is heavy. I personally fish 20 quite a bit. Uh, for me, going light is 15. And I think that is heavy for a lot of people. Personally, I don't think that many people run 15. Maybe we do at the docks for our thing of fishing, but yeah, man. Power Show 2, fake name. That's right, Josh. Oscar runs 20. Mono is better for jigs. I run mono, Zach, because Yeah, I think it's better. It's more abrasion resistant than fluorocarbon. So if we're running mono versus fluoro, if I don't need the perceived benefit of fluoro is really that's for one, the knots aren't as good and it's not as abrasion resistance as mono. So fluoro is better, I think, for tuna fish that have really big eyes, or its sight is the biggest thing. It sinks a little faster, and the claim is that it's harder to see. So if you're finesse fishing, Ned rig and stuff like that, drop shot, I'd probably say fluorocarbon. But for jigs, yeah, I'd say mono for sure. Your knots are tighter, and you got more abrasion resistance, and I think you need that when you're jig fishing. When I jig slow pitch jig fishing for sure. My opinion. Take it for what it's worth. 20-pound braid and 10-pound leader. Get it, Mr. Majors. Yeah, see, he's running the 10-pound. Salty, ha ha. He used 40-50 on goats. That's funny. Oh yeah, I mean we're talking sheep's head. Like you run it thick, dude. You don't mess around. Aaron Kruger says I fish 50-pound braid on 20-pound fluoro. Nice. Aaron's going heavy too, and I know you're a spotty fisherman. I don't run 50-pound braid. You guys are even heavier than me. I'm 30-pound braid usually, um, or even smaller. The braid I'm not worried about so much. It's the um, it's the abrasion. But I also run a super long leader. Um, Somebody was at, I think it was Sound Fishing, asked me one time like what size leader I use. I'm like, dude, like 5 or 6 feet, and he was like, what, 5 or 6 feet? I'm like, yeah, I run it long because I can't tell you how many times I've seen it chewed up at the knot too. Like when they get around those pilings or stuff, I that braid, it pops like that. Braid has no abrasion resistance whatsoever. So I run a I run an Albright knot, so it goes through the guides, and I run a super long mono leader because in case the fish gets tangled up in it, I don't want it getting to the braid. Let's see what else we got. Dario Docs 20 and up only. Yeah, dude, you guys know what's up. Yeah, leader that is. Yeah, I agree. I run 20-pound braid, 20-pound floor. See, I'm sitting here thinking I'm using beast leader, man. I'm like 15 pounds. You guys are like, oh no, 20, 50. Savages. Sound fishing. I cry on this. Yeah, see, Anthony, dude, the 6 to 8. I think you're more common with the 6 to 8 pound fluoro than uh I think you're more normal than most of us. 10-pound, 8-pound fluoro. Yeah, spotty at best. He's another one. Yeah, that's pretty light. You guys are probably cringing when you hear that 15, 20 pound. I think it all depends on the style, guys. Mr. Major knows what's up. Those are some good numbers. The heavier you go, the braid, the more manageable it becomes. Yeah, especially on like casting. Is that what you're talking about, Aaron? I agree with that for sure. Sometimes that do that thin ass braid, yeah, when it cuts into itself, especially after you fought a fish and it cuts in and you go to cast and it's bitten in. That's no fun. Salty says I was using 25 at the docks last season. I've changed some things up. Now I run 20. I don't know if I went to 25. And you're in beast mode. That's even beastier than me. I mean, bait bars, sand bass, yeah, no problem. 30-pound, but I don't think I ran 25 at the dock. So that's a little crazy. Braid is incredibly overrated breaking test. Braid sucks when it. Well, the breaking test maybe. I haven't looked at that. I know the abrasion test is terrible. Like it cuts through like kelp and stuff like that, which is good, but not when it hits like barnacles or oysters or pilings, dude. You're done. Yeah, braid don't hold up, dude. There's freaking no way. But braid is good. I like the size. You can get more on it. That's a whole nother argument. Let's see. See Samurai, 15 pounds will break well over 15 pounds. Yeah, I agree. Chris Blevins, 40-pound minimum. There you have it. That a boy, Chris. What are you running? Mono or fluoro? And do you ever fish the? And also, do you ever fish the bays, or are you're strictly a La Jolla guy? But yeah, for yellowtail and stuff, definitely. Or big halibut. Spinning rod rebel since I run 80-pound braid on my spin fisher is 6,500. Yeah, 6,500 for sure. Anything big like that. The thing about braid is you guys didn't know you can run your braid, you can run almost any size unless you're slow pitch jigging, like I said, and you're going really deep. But if you're fishing like live bait or tuna that are maybe 100, 200 feet deep, the braid size doesn't matter. It's the leader that's everything. They're only going to really be looking at the leader. That's really where the main difference is. But most people are running 65, 80. I've got 80-pound braid spooled up on stuff that I've straight up gone 80-pound braid to like a 20-pound leader. Like who cares? I'm just fishing rockfish, with a drop shot. I'm not too worried about it. Braid's pretty flexible. Joe Diego, frosting, fish frosting. Get some. Let's see here. Yeah, good stuff, guys. If you guys want to keep going, call it a day. What do you guys think? Got to go to bed?
Did you see Eric's comment?
Let's see. Eric's got a comment on here.
No, go back to the chat.
The Mrs. Muta's telling me I've got some comments to read.
Eric wants to start a side pot on when I'm going to have the baby. What size it's going to be.
Eric wants to do a side pot. For these guys that don't know, me and my wife are expecting our first child in our old age.
Right in the middle is fine.
I'll be 40 years old when she arrives. He wants to do a side pot. We'll come up with one, Eric. For those of you guys that don't know, on a side note, side pot, we do have a submission fishing slow death jig side pot. So for those of you guys that are aware, I announced on this show last time, I make my own jigs now. Slow death jigs, that's the name. I've got them all the way up to tuna size. This is a small one. This is the Assassin. Got the Sumo. This is like a 60 gram. And there is a spotty bowl side pot for the biggest fish caught on a submission fishing jig, as well as a Savage Gear. What was the Savage Gear one? I know it was a Savage Gear. I don't know if there was a specific bait or if it was like a salmon or something, and then a cool baits. So longest one on cool baits, you get a cool baits package. Slow death jigs, you get a slow death package. And for those of you guys that don't know, we still got the free hat if you spend $75 or more.
How that works.
And we've only got a few left. And I'll be honest with you guys, there's not so many jigs left on some of these sizes. Like I'm down to fumes on just a few. So if you want to get some, get some. If you spend $75, you can get a free hat. You have to put the hat in the cart and you have to use the code. Otherwise, it doesn't show up in the order form or we don't see it. So put the hat in and use the code. We'll get in there.
Code is.
And Jessica will put it in there. But yeah, anyways. When Widow fishes, he's also working out. Dude, sometimes. I forgot what we were talking about. 42 watching and only 28 likes. Yeah, guys, if you hit that like button and press oos, it really helps the channel. Let's get some likes in here. That is deeply appreciated. Savage Gear, Squad Rod. Yeah, but what do they have to catch it on, Kevin? That's the prize, right? But what is what's the Savage Gear qualifier? I guess we'll get it in there. Yeah, this is some good stuff there. Let's see here. Have I ever heard of if you want to kill a fish, instantly pour alcohol on their gills, cheap vodka? Who asked that? I've never heard that. That was Eric?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard if you want to kill a fish, instantly pour alcohols on their gills? Eric, I've never heard that. I can't confirm. If anybody can in here can confirm or deny. If you pour alcohol, cheap vodka on a fish's gills, will it kill it instantly? I don't think so. That sounds like nonsense, but I don't know. Maybe somebody in there will set me straight. I'm not sure. Kiwi reacts. I want to buy a couple jigs from you for bass, kelp, bay, and rockfish. What would you recommend and what weight? So you're for bass. If you're talking, it's like you're doing calicos and rockfish. I would get a 40-60 and then one of the 130s. If you're doing bay fish like bait barge, go 40 and 60. Any of the ones, the Sumo or the Assassin. If you're going for the bays, just get the 20 grams. And if you're going rockfish, get one of the if you're going deep, if you're going then like deeper than 300 feet, I'd probably get the 220 javelin. If you're going to stay shallow within 70 feet to 100 feet, probably the 130 gram javelin for sure. Thanks for asking that question. Oscar, I'll finish a bottle before it gets to the fish, I guess. So that's already done, right? That's funny. I don't know if anybody had a beer of automotive repair guy come in yesterday, and he says that's what they do with the tuna boats. Dude, I've never heard that, Eric. I could be wrong. I think that's nonsense. I haven't heard anybody refute it though, but that's crazy, dude. Have you seen what fish swim through? Like, dude, those dudes go through like sewage. Um, I'm catching fish in the bays and straight up gasoline slicks and oil. Like I don't think so. I know it's not good for them. That's how they breathe. Maybe if you dunk them in the straight alcohol, probably. I feel like I'm going off the rails here. We're getting too deep into the alcohol. Macro wave investing. What's going on, man? Oos, welcome to the show. Glad you can have us. Glad we can have you, I should say. Let's see if there's anything else we got in here. Just checking up on the chat, guys. What gear we using for spotty bowl? We already got that covered. Cedros. Oh yeah, you guys, we got a. Somebody asked what gear I was bringing for Cedros. For those of you guys that don't know, we're going on a Cedros trip. We got planned with a bunch of these guys. So Kevin Nakata is going to be our guide. We're going out for 5 days and 4 days. We're going out on private planes. We're going to fly out. I think if you're on the MMFC, if you guys want to get in there, you can sign up. There's still dates. I'm going with Eric the Judge Lehman. So it'll be me, Eric. I guess Kevin Nakata will be out there. I'm going to September. So there's 2 dates in September and there's 2 dates in June. I don't know if there's many June spots left. It's like $3,100 to $3,400, dude. But that's private planes. I think that's food. It's lodging and literally fishing for 5 days for whatever fish you can dream of down in Cedros Island. I guess we're gonna land. We're gonna fish. We're gonna sleep. We're gonna wake up. We're gonna fish all day. It's gonna be a blast. So I'm going with a lot of you guys. Looking forward to being there with Eric. So there's 4 groups. And I know some are open, so we've still got spots on ours. I believe me and Eric are going. So if you guys want to look into that, check out MMFC. Slide into the Discord there, yeah, and check it out. I think it'll be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. So somebody asked what gear I'm bringing for Cedros. I've never fished Cedros before. I've got some big fish. Slow pitch, man. Slow pitch everything. I've got a slow pitch rod for everything. I've got slow pitch rockfish. I've got one for pelagics. I've got light. I've got one in every size. I've got all the grams. Probably just my rods. The good thing about slow pitching is one rod pretty much does everything. I can fish if it's like 100 gram to a 350 gram. I can fish tuna on that rod. I can fish Dorado. Then I can just change the jig and fish rockfish on the same damn thing, the same rod, the same line. Just switching the jig up, it can catch any of those fish. I think that's what I love about it. I don't need like a huge thing. I'll probably bring I will bring a topwater rod for sure. I've got a custom made rod from M&M Rods. I think it's like a CalStar blank. It's a 9 foot. That thing's badass. I'll probably bring that. It's got a Pen Fathom 15 casting special on it, so I'll use that for throwing irons and stuff. Aside from that, I'd probably just my slow pitch rods and pretty much the stuff that I usually have. Some of those I've got wound up with 65 pound braid, 80-pound braid. I've got some heavy. I've got a 2-speed, one with a big old 2-speed that'll do pitch 400 gram jigs. It's good stuff. Yeah, that's my plan. All nighter. How do I like to go after this mass formation psychosis guys down? Yeah, dude, would love to have you. That'd be awesome. Let's see what Zach says. I'm with you on this one, Oscar. Send back the pics. Let's see. Muto, are you going to bring a light slow pitch jig from Big Water Rods Company? Yeah, probably if I have it. If I have it in time, you're going to make me one of those custom rods, I'll bring it. Don't tell my wife that. I need a rod for each technique. Yeah, Cal. That's true. We went on a trip this summer. Some dude was like, we invited him. We made a trip. And on a side note, me and Jessica were talking about this. Nothing's finalized or something like that. But what is your guys' interest in doing a submission fishing trip? We'd like to charter a boat, I think this summer or late summer, charter a boat. And I think we'll do like the cost will include, we'll give jigs away. We'll have giveaways. We'll sell tickets, but yeah, we'll just do like a submission fishing trip. So if that's something you guys are into, like an offshore, probably just like a day trip or like a day, like a full day, where you're out there like 16 hours a day. We'll leave early, get back late. But yeah, if that's something you guys are interested in, let me know. I think it'd be cool if it's everybody we all knew. We do giveaways, give prizes away, have raffles, and like you would include, you get jigs, get some stuff included with your ticket and stuff like that. So if there's any interest in that, you guys let me know. email us, give us the thumbs up, let us know on Instagram. But I think that'd be really cool to go out there fishing for like Dorado or big tuna or something like that. Maybe just a trip down to Mexico from San Diego and then back, just like a long trip. I think that'd be awesome. Cave Dog, he calls dibs. Yeah, dude. 7-Eleven. Slurpee time, baby. Let's see here. Pascal Mendeville, interested? Yeah, dude. So I think as it gets closer, we're going to start to set it up. If there's enough interest, sounds fun, salty. Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely put something together. I'd love to do it. So we know some captains. We'll get us hooked up. Curtis Burgett, you're interested? Nice, dude. Yeah, so I think maybe we'll make it happen for sure. I'll go if I'm not working that dates. Yeah, we'll have to pin one down. So this is the thing. Do we do it early June before the baby or after the baby? See, now I'm going to be a dad. I've got this whole baby thing to like work around. The struggle's real, guys. Having to plan your fishing around the child. Cedros. Let's still go into Cedros though. Good night, all. All right, Kevin Oos. Glad you could have us weekend or weekday trip. I would think we don't have the details. I think probably weekend, Todd. Most people usually easier to get on the weekend. I mean, it's my understanding. That seems to be the easiest to get people. So we'll see. Yeah, I told my wife it'd be cool if she gave birth on the boat. Straight up, I was like, well, we get our boat. I was like, we'll just go out all the time. It's like, how badass would that be to give birth on a boat?
Easy for you to say.
That'd be pretty hardcore. She says easy for me to say. I'll deliver it. We'll call the Coast Guard or whoever, they'll roll up. It'd be badass. After the baby will be tough for a bit. Do it before. So then we'll be talking like early June. It'd probably be a bluefin time then, Zach, if it's the same as last year. Because I don't think like the yellowfin or Dorado are really out. The water's not warm enough yet, but the bluefin are out. The only thing about bluefin fishing is a struggle, dude. When the bite's on and they're eating, like it's so fun, but when the bluefin don't want to eat and you can find the boils, it's like it's great. But when they don't want to eat, dude, it's terrible. It's like the worst. Dual citizenship. Yeah, Zach. I don't think Mexico gives you I could be wrong. Does Mexico give you a citizenship? Like if you're born in America, you get American citizenship no matter what country you're from. That's why a lot of people come here just to have babies because then their child always has a citizenship. But it usually doesn't work like that in other countries. Weekend trips are more money and usually harder to get charter dates. Yeah, but if we get it early, Roy, I think that's okay. If you guys are down for weekdays, I mean that depends. I guess maybe we'll see we'll see what the dates are. So we'll figure something out. I'm not too worried about it. Chris is laughing. What, giving the birth on the boat? Yeah, dude. You guys, Chris doesn't know. I've had a boat on order, dude, for a year. Coming March, it will be a year. I've had a new boat being made. It's been backed up. They haven't built it. Like the deposit's been down forever. Like I don't know if I'm ever gonna see this damn thing. But I'm gonna see the baby before I see this damn boat. But that's what I'm saying. When I get it, we're going out like every weekend. So we might have baby birth boat. Baby boat birth. My wife doesn't think it's as cool as I do.
I just have my doubts.
She has her doubts. Well, you have your doubts. I can deliver it.
I have my doubts that any of us will.
I'll cut it, dude. I got the fillet knife. Cut the umbilical cord. Nah. Like a true salty child. We'll do it. Chris, teach you how to slow pitch. Yeah, dude, I'd love that. I'd give a seminar for sure. If we did the trip. That's what I'm saying. Like I give away jigs, or they'd be included in your cost. Yeah, teach everybody how to slow pitch. I think that'd be awesome, dude. If you've never slow pitched a fish before, you guys are missing out. I think there's few things better. Anyone got the scoop on the bump boards? Congrats on the baby. Sounds cool. Yeah, thank you, dude. Awesome. You're both depreciating before you own it, right? But the thing is, inflation is going so high, and we've got the price when we got it early last year. I think it's worth more than it was because stuff is way more expensive than it was now. I think if we bought this boat now, it'd be like $5,000 more if we tried to roll in and buy it today. So I think we're actually getting a deal because we've been waiting on it so long. Danny Boy Fishing, what brand? It's an Arima. Arima Yellowtail 19. Arima Sea Chaser Yellowtail 19. It's like a little pilot house fishing boat. What's going on, Coach? Better late than never. Welcome to the show. All right, guys. If you have any more questions, it's been a great show. I'm burnt out. No more topics. I'm running on fumes. Just starting to bore you guys at this point. Hopefully, you guys like the show. The philosophies, fishing philosophies. If you guys like that, I thought it was a lot of fun. We'll do it again. We'll come up with some more fishing philosophies. I love having all you guys here. It was great. Thanks for the support. If you guys want to get your own jigs, slow pitch jigs, slow death jigs, go to submissionfishing.com. There's, like I said, guys, they are selling out fast. I'm selling out a ton. So I'm trying to get another big order settled, but I don't know when that's going to be. So don't wait. If you guys are especially on this show and you guys want to get some, place your order now because it might be a while before I get some other ones. So stock up if you don't have them. Aside from that, just thank you for being here. Anybody that liked the show, anybody that watched, I really appreciate it. Thanks for all the support. Spotty Bowl is this week. This weekend, don't forget to declare your days and be safe out there, guys. And we'll see you on the next one. And we're all out there trying to get our black belts in fishing. Thank you, everybody, for joining. And yeah, Eric's got a bunch for sale. Awesome, guys. Cheers. Great hanging out with you. We'll see you on the next one. Oos.